Welcome, everybody. We're super excited about the first Filecoin Plus Day. I wanted to introduce everybody to my wonderful co-founder at the Filecoin Foundation, the lovely Miss Clara Sau, who is going to talk a little bit about Filecoin Foundation and what we're up to.
Thank you so much, Megan. This is such a pleasure to meet all of you guys, and we are so thrilled to be here and also to work with our partners at Protocol Labs on this incredible event. So first off, I just wanted to spend the first few minutes talking about what is the Filecoin Foundation. You guys may have seen us on Twitter or elsewhere or our blog posts, but we were created to really be the independent organization dedicated to developing Filecoin and related technologies. And we help coordinate and support the creation of open protocols and open source software that allow for decentralized data storage and also retrieval networks. And so we're really similar to other foundations, as you may have seen, Ethereum Foundation, or a hybrid between Apache and the Mozilla Foundation. So there's a lot that we do. We also have a charitable arm called the Filecoin Foundation for the decentralized web, and that particular organization helps ensure that we can really support incredible projects that preserve humanity's most important information, which is a huge mission of Filecoin. So with that, I wanted to cover who's on our team. We are a relatively young startup, but we are hiring a lot right now. So Megan and myself are founding officers. And then we also have Rachel Horn, who's also on this call, our head of marketing communications, Sonia, who you'll hear about from later. And then Dudley Grant, our security program manager. And Dudley and Sonia just started last week. Every month we're adding close to 3 to 5 jobs on our job board. So if you're excited to work for a really young but also fast-moving team, we would love to hear from you and get involved in some way. Every quarter, we also give developer grants. Some of you guys may have received some, and so some of you guys may have heard of our grants, but definitely, there's an incredible opportunity to get involved in a part-time or even full-time role. We are also so thrilled to have an incredible board that works with us. So Marcia Hoffman, who's an electronic privacy attorney, Marta Balcher, who's also general counsel at Protocol Labs. We have Rainey Brightman, who's an activist. We have Nicole Wong, who is the former deputy chief CTO of the US. Brian Benedorf, who's currently the executive director of Hyperledger, and also Kristen Smith, who's the executive director of the Blockchain Association. And then we also have an incredible set of advisors that help guide and plug us into incredible opportunities and partnerships. So these include Sheila Warren, who's the head of blockchain and data policy at the World Economic Forum, Sandra Rowe from the Blockchain Business Council. We have Danny O'Brien, who's an incredible activist in the Web3 space, Katie Bieber, who's the chief legal officer at Brex, Alex Fierce from Numeration Labs, Georgia Quinn, who's the GC at Anchorage. We have Brewster Kale, who's the founder of Internet Archive, who recently just gave incredible donation to really support their cause there. Joe Lubin, some of you guys may know, who's the founder of Consensus and the co-founder of Ethereum. And then we also have Wendy, who's the director of partnerships at Internet Archive. And so with that, just wanted to give a quick overview of who we are. You can find information about us at file.org, fil.org, but just wanted to give that introduction. And Filecoin Plus is definitely a program that we are very, very supportive of. We think it's so important to have data integrity as we're thinking about distributed storage. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll turn it back to my co-founder, Megan.
What we want to do is we want to get a bunch of people from the Filecoin Plus program and wider community all together, to kind of like highlight and showcase all the good work that the community's been doing, to tell people about this really incredible program that is one of the fundamental principles that is going to make the Filecoin network as useful and capable as it can be. And then also to help people who want to get involved, somebody who might want to be a notary, clients who want to apply for data cap, give them the information about how to do this, kind of demystify a bunch of it. And we're going to, end Filecoin Plus Day with a notary governance call. So people who maybe have not been part of that before can see how that works. We're really excited to have everyone who's attending today and everyone who's going to watch this on YouTube later here as part of the program. So really, I think to understand the Filecoin Plus program, we're going to start with talking about what is like the mission of Filecoin. What are we trying to do here? And at the core, we want to create a system that preserves humanity's most important knowledge. We want to have economic incentives that are aligning us with that goal. And so, there's infinite layers that we can get into with the technical of how the Filecoin network works. But at the end of the day, the miners on our network are going to be rewarded when they are committing capacity to the network. And then also when they're making storage deals. These are both, behaviors that we want to promote. These are both behaviors that are then expanding and growing the network. But if you dig in a little bit more to storage deals, really you can talk about storage deals as two types of deals. There's real deals where people are taking data that they want to store and creating a deal with a miner and storing that data. But then there's also what we're going to characterize as malicious deals. So because anytime you are either committing capacity to the network or committing capacity through a storage deal, you're receiving block rewards as a miner. There's going to be an incentive to, instead of taking a real deal, to store junk data. Like, why would this be advantageous? Because real deals are always going to end up being somewhat more expensive than just putting junk data in there. Both because you have the actual cost of transferring the data, and the possibility that you might have a completely reasonable, loss of power, loss of something that makes you lose the data. So those like rare times that you're factoring into your cost benefits that you are actually losing the data, even though you're trying to store it correctly. And also just the opportunity cost. Anytime you are taking a not real deal, you can axe that deal out if a better opportunity comes along. If the cost of storage goes way up and there's client data that you want to take later on. So aside from the costs that apply to both stealing sectors, there's always going to be an economic advantage to doing these malicious deals. And unfortunately, if we have a network filled with malicious deals, then we're not really working towards our mission to store humanity's most important knowledge, and we're not really building a useful storage network. So what do we do if we have an economic incentive that works against the goals of the program? We ideally would go through and figure out a way to only store good data. But then this brings us into the question of what is good data? How could we figure out what data is good and real versus what data is not useful to anyone? And kind of like a bigger, more existential question: is that really our role? Like, whose role is it to decide if your data is actually useful and good and working towards our sort of larger goals of storing humanity's most important data and making a storage network that is really useful? And so looking at the data isn't really the right way to go. We've a better solution is going to be to look at the client, not at the data. And so working off the Nobel Prize winning work of social scientists, we're able to think about ways to solve this, not by looking at the data, but by finding ways to verify the clients. Now, a bunch of these same questions still come up. Whose job is it to verify the clients? Who's going to say, yes, this is a real person who's really storing, useful and good data, versus this is somebody who has malicious intent. And like everything else that we're trying to build with the Filecoin network, this is something that should be entirely community driven. So what we've created, a system, but it's really up to the larger Filecoin community to come in and say who are, the clients that should be verified and who are the clients who, who are people who look like this is a scam. And so, we offer higher block rewards to clients that have been verified through this community governance structure. Deep is going to do a deep dive into community governance structure in just a moment. But that is the basic idea of what we're trying to accomplish with the Filecoin Plus program.